So, could you please describe the town where you live?
Okay, so I live in a small town in the countryside of the northern area of Italy. And my town is actually, as I said, small and it has a lot of green areas. And so you can enjoy whenever you want to have a walk in peace in my town. It doesn't have traffic at all. For example, in my road, probably less than 50 cars will pass in front of my house every day. And another good thing of my town is that everyone knows each other, and so because
Okay.
it's little,
So,
it
could you
has
please
more or less.
describe the countryside outside your town? So, what are the other things that you see close to your town but outside your town actually?
Okay, if you go out from my town, you can reach a lot of agricultural cultures. So you can see a lot of corn cultures and sometimes even soy. And yeah, the countryside is more or less, the outside is more or less all the same. So pretty green in summer with these huge cultures of corn and soy. And in winter, it completely changes because it becomes all dry and brown because
Okay.
uh, all the
So,
green disappears.
what's the weather like in your country or town, especially?
Okay, in my town, and it is more or less the same about in all my country. The weather is divided in four sections, so four main seasons. There is the summer season, which is the most most hot one, and so there is a humid temperature and warm, very warm. And then there is the autumn, which is a bit fresh and colder, but still enjoyable with a lot of rain. And then in my town, it doesn't snow a lot, but in winter it gets very, very cold. So sometimes we reach -2, -1 degrees. And then after winter, in March, more or less March, April, we go back to spring, which is very nice in my opinion because the weather becomes more more warm, but not
Okay.
that much.
Now, let's talk about driving.
Yeah.
Do you think uh, the best age? What do you think about the best age for people to learn to drive? So, what's the best age to learn drive?
Um, I think the best age is around 20 years old because probably the car and people would need the car even before because of maybe the school they are going to is not close to their town, and so having a car should be better. But I think they are not just mature enough to have a car. It is also true that no one can, anyone is different, and so the maturity level of a person couldn't be like fixed to a certain age. And so for this reason, I think that 20 years old is good because then people have to start working.
Okay.
And so
What advice would you give someone who is about to drive for 5 hours?
okay, the first thing that I would tell him is to try maybe to sleep a few hours before, straight before the going and driving, because it makes you a little bit more relaxed and not that tired. Even if you drive during the day, 5 hours are a lot. And then other thing, I think it should be good to not eat too much before because it's proved that if you eat a lot, then you get tired straight after, and so you can just lose concentration during the drive. And probably other advice is to take someone close next to you, so don't drive alone, because if you feel tired, they can just drive and replace you if you want a break.
Yeah, that's good. So now, how can we reduce the amount of traffic on our roads?
Okay, I think the main ways are to, first of all, just determine some areas in which the traffic should be limited, especially in cities. So some areas where you can just you count with limited traffic areas. And
Okay.
other thing is to promote the use of other means of transport. So sensibilize people to the use of maybe bicycles, especially if they have to just ride for or yeah, drive for a few meters. Many times people just use the car when it's not so as necessary. And um,
Okay, no worries.
traffic
So yeah,
roads.
so we can build alternative roads, or we can use alternative vehicles like cycles, you said, and also we can increase the dependence on public transport, like people only using bus or train to commute.
Yeah,
That means they'll have like less car on the road. Okay,
true.
no worries.
Yeah.
So, do you think it should be law to wear a seatbelt in front and back seats of the car?
Yeah, I think that it should be absolutely low, because I mean there is no point for people not to use it. It's just in our advance to use the seatbelt, because it saves our lives and the lives of other people in other cars, and especially in cars where children are placed. Many times they move a lot, and they can distract the driver and like cause accident.
So now let's talk about telephones. How often do you use telephone?
I use my telephone pretty often, mostly for study stuff, so just to check the emails or um, using the internet to find a word that I don't know. But I use it a lot, even just to navigate on my social medias. And so I think I would, in average, I use it more or less 2 hours a day, something like this every day. Yep.
Okay, now let's talk about like, do you ever turn your phone off?
Rarely. I almost never to take my phone off, turn my phone off, because I think that it's important, if someone needs me, that I am available. So unless I am in a really important moment, I have to turn it off. For example, in the test section, I will turn it off. But normally I have it on even when I sleep. Maybe I turn the volume off and the mobile data off, but the telephone is still on. I don't turn it off.
Okay. Do you think the mobile phone is a good thing or bad thing?
Um, I think has many other things. It is good and absolutely useful if used in the right way. And so it's a really good source, even because you can contact and being contacted by others, even if you are not at home. And so the mobile, this is the main difference in between the mobile and the home telephone, that you can take it wherever you go. But on the other way, I think many people use it in a wrong way, and so it becomes just it makes damages, especially in teenagers, that they use it just to chat or spend too much time on social medias, and this is very bad.
Okay. So if you were having dinner with someone, would you keep your mobile phone off or on?
I think I would keep it on, and maybe just turn off everything. So the volume, the data. If it's an important dinner, probably I would have it with me and not turn it off. But I would anyway just have it on, even if just someone calls me and it's urgent. And even because I really don't like to, when I turn it off, then when I have to turn it on again, I have to fill with a specific password that I never remember. And so for me, it's better to let it on.